Hey guys, and welcome to another block spotlight. Now, as you can see, I've got two peculiar looking cubes in front of me right here, and this is what the spotlight is about. Now, these are tanks from the OpenBlocks mod. So, tanks that hold liquids. As you can see, this one is filled with water. Okay, so first let's have a look at the crafting recipe. Crafting recipe for this tank is quite simple. You have in the middle rows here, the center rows, have glass panes, and in the corners we have obsidian, and this recipe will yield 2 tanks. Now these tank blocks will connect to each other, so you can build any sort of structure you like with these tanks. You'll simply connect up and form one single big tank. Alright, now you can destroy these with a pickaxe, for example. It does take some effort to break them, but that's also an advantage because you won't break them by accident. So they are pretty tough to break. So I'm using a diamond pickaxe and it still takes some effort to break them. Alright, now these tanks are quite interesting because even though they're slightly more expensive than, for example, Buildcraft tanks, they do have some very neat properties. So the first one is that your tank can connect with other ones and take any possible form or shape as long as you have the tank blocks connecting up to each other. Now another property is that, for example, when I have this empty tank here and I place a full water tank next to it, the water inside of the first tank will flow into the second one and it will even out. So I've got 8 buckets in the first tank, 8 buckets in the second tank. So what I didn't mention before, a single tank block can hold 16 buckets of fluid. Alright, so that's a very interesting property. If I place it above there, you will also get it filling up the bottom 2 blocks, and so on and so on. So you can see it fills up the whole bunch of tanks quite nicely. Alright, so this has some sort of fluid dynamic. Now another thing to note about this is that the water will never flow up. So if I have 2 tanks set up like this here and I connect them at the bottom, like real life, the water will stop at the top level here. Alright, so it doesn't go up any further. So that's quite nice. So the water will never flow up. If I add one right there, it will even out again. And of course, I can just add tanks on the top here and it'll empty out into the rest of the system. So these tanks are quite convenient. They can hold any liquid in the Forge dictionary system. So for example, I have a tank here with creosote oil, which I used in the previous spotlight. And basically any fluid in the game these days can be placed in a tank like this, because it basically uses the same system as any other tank. Okay, well, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.